Hello viewers, today we're going to work on this Opel Zafira. This car is the second time that we're going to do some little bit harder diagnosis than usual. In other videos I diagnosed a bad ECM on this car and we sent the ECM for repair, and they done it, and since then the car was running fine. But in the previous month the owner start to feel some hesitation on cold start. The car needed to warm up so to be able to be driven, because the mixture was he's thinking the mixture is too rich, because the car smells fuel like crazy. So he finally decided to bring the car to me. We're going to see that as usual it's not going to be straightforward diagnosis, reading the fault codes and changing the part. It's a little bit more confusing, but I'm going to show you what I have found, and probably this is going to be helpful for other Opel owners because it's kind of misleading. And yeah, let's see the diagnostic what is showing. Okay, the good old launch once again. Okay, so let's find the car. This is 2000 okay, 2000 Zafira. This is Zafira A, actually, Zafira A. Okay, and the engine is X18 XE1. This is the code of the engine. Okay, and if we read the fault codes, as we can see, we don't have any fault codes. So sometimes on these other cars you need to encounter something really dramatic, so sometimes for the ECM to trigger a fault code. Not every time, but this time the owner is driving this car like that for a month or something like that, and still no fault codes. So I'm going to start up the car. We're at neutral. Okay, the car right now is cold, and I can clearly feel the hesitation. So yeah, the car is shaking like crazy. I'm going to turn off the engine because I want to see the live data while the car is doing it, because he told me when the car gets hot it stopped doing it. So we're going to check, of course, the coolant temperature. This is basic stuff. Battery watch. Yeah, let's see how the alternator is charging. What else? I believe this didn't want this didn't have EGR installed. Not exactly sure, but let's see. Okay, what else? Intake air temperature. Not I take mine for the valve temperature. The O2 sensors is kind of tricky because the engine is cold, but yeah, let's see what they are going to show. What else? Let's see the throttle control sensor, TPS signal. Yeah, this is going to be so let's wait to wall up. It's older car, so it's taking a little bit more time than the newer cars. Okay, it's on the top. As we can see, the coolant temperature is 55 because I was running the car a few minutes before I started the video, if I need to be honest, and it's a little bit hot, but still it's acting up. What else? The intake air temperature 27, kind of high, if I need to be honest. Right now outside is something around 12 degrees Celsius. O2 sensor. These sensors are operating from 0 to 5 volts, like on the BMWs, older BMWs. So don't mislead this that the sensor is reading some crazy data. What else? Okay, let's start the car. Okay, starts right up. Not sure why I did select that, but doesn't matter. Oh, guys, it's really hard like that. Let me take it like that. So, okay, throttle control sensor. Let's see like that. Still the lambda is not working. I guess it's not heated up, but the car is getting shaky. The throttle control sensor, it's moving just a little bit, nothing crazy. What else? The battery voltage seems fine. The coolant temperature seems fine, but the car is still shaking. Okay guys, do you see something not right in this picture here? I'm going to give you a few seconds and going to wait you. Okay, I'm going to help you because it's a good idea to have an engine speed while watching this. Okay, the engine speed is right here. Right now the car is not acting up, if I need to be honest, and the glare is cooperating as much as it can, and as we can see, the lambda start working. And the interesting fact is, when the lambda started to work, the car stabilized and started to working as it should be, which is kind of interesting. Which means right now we are at closed loop. Which means before that we was not getting feedback from the lambda and we were in open loop and we were gathering information from other sensors. As we saw, when the lambda started operating and it was hot enough to start reading information, all the complaints disappeared. Which means before that we were in open loop, like now, because we are in ignition, so it's normal. The engine was gathering information from somewhere else, from other sensors, because the lambda was still not operational. So which sensors are going to be viral when the engine is cold? Which sensors is going to determine the mixture and going to calculate how much air and how much fuel is going to get in the chamber, the fuel chamber. And yeah, I'm probably it's pretty easy to see it. There are two sensors: intake air temperature, mass airflow. Of course, the TPS sensor is really important. And yeah guys, after many years of experience, I found out I'm joking, our main suspect is going to mass airflow sensor. So right now the car is at just on ignition on. I'm going to start up the engine and we're going to see the live data of this sensor, because the first time I was checking all this data, live data, it was look really suspicious to me, and I'm going to show you why. So let's start up the engine. Okay, right now we are reading around 14 kilograms per hour, which is perfectly fine. Actually, on warm engine this is kind of okay. But the bad thing is, yeah, we are at open loop, but I think I should wait a little bit more so this engine to get colder, so to start act up once again. Yeah, the car got in the closed loop. So I'm going to leave the engine for a few minutes and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what I saw in this mass airflow sensor, which lead me to the believing that we have some problem on it. Okay guys, so I left the car sitting the whole night and now I'm going to do the first start. Actually right now is the middle of the day, but a little bit warmer than the morning, but doesn't matter. Let's go inside and try the first start and hopefully the car is going to act up. Okay, so I already connected to the, let me close the door. I already connected to the ECM. So once again I'm going to go in the live data and check the mass airflow, and What else? Yeah, the camera is focusing on me. I'm going to need to turn on the automatic focus, O2 sensor and O2 status, the loop status. So okay, let's start up the car. Yeah, it started right away to misfire. Okay, it's for sure is acting up, and we can see how high is the mass airflow right now. I'm going to press the gas a little bit. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. So right now it's reading 36 kilograms per hour on completely cold engine. Okay, little bit throttle once again. And yeah, the car is struggling to hold the RPMs. Once again started to acting up, but I think it's still the mass airflow is a little bit high. So I'm going to stop the engine right now. As we saw, we was reading 30 kilograms per hour, and I'm going to swap the new airflow meter, and we're going to see what reading is he going to give us. Okay, so the new MAF is installed. This is the old one, which is here. The new one is Delphi. Most of you are going to say that Hero is better brand, but in the last few years it's not like that. They have started to make a lot of junk parts, a lot of garbage. Okay, once again, ignition on. I'm directly going to go in the engine before starting the car, because I want to see right away what is the reading of the MAF sensor after touching the throttle a little bit, because it has some strange problem with the TPS. Live data. Let's see the reading once again. And the MAF. Okay, let's start up. So, as I told you, the reading in the beginning is a little bit high. And if I just touch the pedal a little bit, and it drops out to 23, 22, 4, but it's much less than the other one, for sure. Right now the air mass meter is not connected to the to the airbox, and that is giving some misleading. It's making to read a little bit higher numbers. Okay, and this is the reading with the new mass airflow meter, and as we can see, it is significantly lower than the old one. We are at around 20 kilograms per hour, which actually is still high, but as we can see here, the engine is still cold, so it's normal to be higher, because still the mixture is rich. But I guess when the car gets warmer, it's going to go around 15 or 14 kilograms per hour, but it's much less than the old one, which was making the mixture a lot richer than that it should be. It's a little bit hard to catch problem like that. You're going to need a little bit experience with air mass meters to see what is the normal operation values on them. Yeah, when you know how much it should be on the different displacement engines, you're going to know what to searching for. And yeah, I saw that it's a little bit higher than it should be, and that's why I was started to be suspicious about the mass airflow meter, and that's why I decided to buy a new one and replace it, because I was sure that there was something wrong with it. But yeah, the car feels pretty good, and as we can see, it's still falling down. Oops. Yeah, the one that take place little by little is falling down. On live data it's a little bit hard to show you, and it's hard to replicate on camera what is the feel inside the car, but the car was really shaky and it was trying to stall. but with the new air mass meter, no more of these complaints. And yeah, I'm going to talk to the customer. I'm going to tell him to take the car, to drive it week or two. If everything is fine, we're going to call it a fix, because since I installed a new air mass meter, no more problems with the cold starts, with the cold engine, and everything seems fine. I guess this is going to be with this car. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next video.